Hey there. Good morning and welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL strategy show. Single lineup Sims lineup building edition. This is when Greg and I scheduled all of this out, I think 2 years ago now, right? 2 years ago, we started the new schedule. We decided, well, I guess like a year and a half ago, but the beginning of last season. The whole thought process was like Tuesday morning, let's just do a first look. You know, you don't have any data. There's no Sims. But we love football. We're going to talk about it. Wednesday, we get the update. We start building some stuff out ourselves, see how it looks. And then when Friday rolls around, we have refined the data. We can see what the Sims are feeding us. And then on Sunday, we're ready. We're already prepared. And you got a lot of people now during NBA season, Greg, that are coming in. And this is, by the way, fine by me. I get it. We all have responsibilities in this life. Not everyone has the luxury of watching every show when it's live. A lot of people come in on Sunday, and that's really their first foray into every slate once NBA begins. But if you're able to watch these shows throughout the week, even with NBA going, even if you're watching them after the fact, you're going to come into Sunday with a pretty good understanding of where you want to go. And then once the inactives come out, you can make some tweaks. But, I mean, I build my lineups in the final 55 minutes before lock once we get that final projection and data update. And I feel pretty good about it each week, given what we do from Tuesday through Sunday.
Although last week, you and I, with not correct information, well, I should say incomplete information, built far better lineups last Wednesday than what I ended up building on Sunday, which was almost entirely due to the Drake London situation, because Drake London gets ruled out. I don't know what you were planning on doing with the Falcons. I certainly wasn't planning on playing a shit ton of Darnell Mooney. I was going to have some of Bijan, or a lot of Bijan Robinson either way, but more of Bijan Robinson than I otherwise would have had. And there were some really good lineups that you and I built out on Wednesday around guys like Breece Hall and Chase Brown. And then it was just all Falcons for me on Sunday. So sometimes it's better when you have not as much information.
Yeah, we should have just stuck with our Wednesday lineup. Hey, do me a favor. Can you make sure your mic is selected?
Yeah, let's see.
I just saw someone mention it in chat too. I think you just don't have your mic selected, which would be my guess. Fix it on the fly, baby. For those of you podcast listeners out there, Greg is now working on his computer trying to figure out.
So this is weird. It's not even showing up as an option right now.
Is it a USB by any chance?
Yeah.
Unplug it and plug it back in. Typically that'll work. And then it'll identify it again. I have mine into a mixer, and sometimes with my camera too, I have to do the same thing. It happens. Anyway, glad to have you guys here at the Single Lineup Sims show. You guys are the real deal, man. I say every time NBA season rolls around, anyone who watches this show live still, on a big NBA slate, you are our people. Same with you watching after the fact. For sure. Anyone watching these shows at this point, because we still get a lot of them. But if you don't mind, take a second, atone for your sins this morning. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Tell me, if you were to load one lineup into this, it's Wednesday, right? Maybe it's Thursday or Friday. You get to build one lineup and build it out in the single lineup Sims. You can't build the whole thing. You have to let the rest get optimized. You can run as much randomness as you want. Let's say 10, 15%. But you have to build one stack right now for a single lineup, right? Let's say like it's a high stakes or mid-high stakes single lineup entry. Who is it going to be right now with the information that we currently have? Let me know. And if you're a podcast listener, we see you out there. Appreciate you tuning in as well. If you have a second while you listen, maybe rate and review this podcast and our channel. That'd be great as well. Tyler, Lions. Yeah, I could see the Lions being a pretty decent one. Minnesota's corners have not been able to stop the deep ball. If they're not getting pressure on the blitz, it's going to be a long day. And we saw that against Justin Herbert. We saw that against Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Ravens are not on this slate, so that wouldn't work. Kyle, Daniel Jones with Warren, DK on the bring back. Ooh, that's not bad. Talk to me, Greg. Are we back?
I don't know. Does this sound better?
I don't think so. Try it again.
How about now?
No, it sounds like there's some bit of an echo. You know what you could do? You could always just restart your computer and come back. I assume it wouldn't take long. I can run this solo for a few minutes for sure.
I'll try the easiest thing first. I'll just try refreshing in StreamYard, just leaving and coming back. And
You know what? That works. Yeah, don't just refresh. Go close out of the tab, open it up in a new tab, and re-enter, and it should be there.
All right, I'll try that.
All right, we'll see you soon, Greg. Yeah, but no, you've got. Yeah, Ben talked about Jacksonville. I'm actually interested in the Raiders on the other side. It's gross. Gino's an interception machine, particularly at home. Chief, Tyler Shuck with Olave. Godspeed, sir. That's a spot that I probably will not be getting to. But if it works, you're going to cry. I posted I manually built out a teaser that I posted over on Tails. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure some of you have already. But yeah, I did a manual. And what I mean by that is that I figured this is pretty wild. If you went on DraftKings and did a 7-point teaser for the Rams, who were at 14, for the Chargers, who were at -10, and for the Lions, who were at 8.5, you were getting I think you were still getting something like -120. Whereas I went in and manually took the Chargers all at -2.5. So that's 7.5 points. I took the Rams at 7.5 points, meaning I'm just grabbing the alts and parlaying them together, got them down to 6.5. And then I took the Lions at 7 down to 1.5, and I got it at +112. So actually manually building out that teaser with alt lines, because that's really all it is, right? When you're taking the 7, it's just alt lines, but they're doing it for you. Actually got better odds than I would have. And I got through that key number of 7 with the Rams and the key number of 3 with the Chargers game. So keep that in mind if you guys are ever looking to do that. There's so many insane favorites on this slate that, here, check this out, right? Went in and, I do like Denver this week. Right here. Yeah, DraftKings allowed $5, so I went on Onyx and bet it again. But yeah, got this to +112, just betting these alts, actually getting better odds than you would with a typical teaser in that spot. If you're not on Tails, make sure to check us out over there. Everything's entirely free. Did it select?
No, it's not working, but if unless it's completely terrible,
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't worry.
Yeah, outside of my control. By the way, also not I don't know if you saw what happened on Live Before Lock last night, but we don't know who the culprit was. Either Spags or Josh accidentally ended the stream when they left after the deep dive. So Eric and I are starting Live Before Lock, and all of a sudden we're just not on the air anymore.
Brutal. Someone did it. Somebody did it. I saw that in chat. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll build some good stuff. A lot of good ideas. Spicy Chipotle DFS. Loughy, what's for breakfast? Just finished my workout as well. Nice. 3 fried eggs with some warm steak over top, a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries in it. I mean, how do you beat that? You asked, I answered. Anyway, you'll be fine with this, Mike. The lineups will still build. You'll still be able to see them. And if you're listening in podcast form, you'll still be able to hear them. Greg may be a bit distant, but we'll read them off no matter what. So
I'm trying my best.
He's trying.
Unfortunately, with certain topics, our best is not always very good.
We're at the mercy sometimes of these streaming sites and all of this shit. It is the way it is. So if you don't mind, tone for your sins, hit the thumbs up. Let's get into this. A couple of builds that I think look really interesting this week, and I don't think they're going to be particularly popular. I mentioned Gino as one. I know it sounds disgusting, but how about this? I did run the Sims, and we're getting 9% Gino, so shout out to me. JJ McCarthy's a scary one. We're getting some of that. We're getting a ton of Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'm just giving you the preliminary Sims run with the first run of data. Some Justin Herbert against Tennessee. People are going to think it's gross, and it probably is, but I would love to try building out a Gino double stack, Greg, especially if Devin Lloyd misses this game for Jacksonville. You're literally double stacking them, so you're getting 3 Raiders for under $15,000. It's so cheap that you can do whatever you want.
All right, so let's start. We'll go Gino, and who are your preferred players to stack him with? I assume Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, or a different direction?
I don't know. I was thinking Brock Bowers and Trey Tucker.
Okay. So we've got Brock Bowers is at 5K. That's a very cheap price for Brock Bowers. I understand the season has largely been a disaster for him, but I think we could entirely chalk that up due to injury. If he's actually healthy, I don't have all that many concerns about him, despite what's happened the last few games.
Yeah. The only concern about Brock Bowers is that this year they have Ashton Genty and Trey Tucker is kind of ascending and becoming a better player. And they just have more outlets than they did last year with Brock Bowers. But you know what? Try it with Jacoby Myers because nobody wants to play Jacoby Myers. Jacksonville, man, I know they're coming off a bye, but so are the Raiders. This Jacksonville team, they don't look very good right now. So let's see what happens with Gino, Jacoby, and Brock Bowers and see if we can sim out a nice lineup.
It definitely should come out better with Jacoby Myers instead of Trey Tucker, just because they're pretty similarly priced. Jacoby Myers is only $500 more expensive, but we do have him for 3 more fantasy points. So I do think from our data, Jacoby Myers looks like the better side.
Let's try it. So that's $14.9 that we're spending on these guys. It's really, really cheap. What is Gino, 46 or something?
So 46, 53, 5K.
It's worth taking a couple flyers on this stack. Price alone. It's not the players, it's the price, honestly. So I'm okay with it. What about at running back then? Because I don't want to just optimize this yet.
Yeah, so one running back who just immediately stands out due to injury, that kind of has to be Tyrone Tracy. We saw such a big workload going to Scatabo, and now he is going to be out for the season. We know that officially. He injured basically everything he can in his ankle. It's dislocated, it's broken, he had ligament damage. But now Tracy's kind of the lone man in the backfield. Like Singletary is going to be getting some work, but Tracy to me is about to carry a massive workload at only $5,100.
Yep. I don't love Tracy, but in this spot, I think it's probably pretty necessary. And also the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, the injuries are piling up, man, just piling up. You already lost Warner. You already lost Bosa. They were down Bryce Huff last week. They have more guys who got hurt. I believe 2 players were carted off the field last game. Like this defense, particularly not in the secondary, but specifically on the line, is in some real trouble, man. So, and at linebacker as well. I would say right now that Tracy, if you had to face the 49ers, he's facing them probably at the best time. So, yeah, I'm all right with Tyrone Tracy. And yeah, I mean, you know what's a crazy build is just going McCaffrey on the other side. I actually think that's super viable in a spot like this.
Yeah, I have it sorted right now by value, so just points per dollar, and Tyrone Tracy comes out number 1 at the running back position. McCaffrey's 3rd for us in points per dollar projection, even though he's $8,800.
Yeah, exactly. And we still have plenty of salary left over. I saw we had Kyron Williams projected well. His workload, I mentioned it to Ben yesterday, a little bit concerning. That like 3 or 4 straight weeks, he's been in the 12 to 14 rush attempt range. That's not anything close to what we saw last year. He still looks good as a 14-point favorite, and he's probably just going to get there on, the fact that they're going to have a lot of goal to go situations, but scares me a little bit. So we're Gino, Tyrone Tracy, Christian McCaffrey, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. You don't need a huge game from this Raiders stack in order for it to be okay, unless it's like these other weeks where you just need 230 DraftKings points to win a tournament. Then, I'll eat my words. But you've got 2 wide receivers, a flex, and a defense. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to plug a defense in and just see what we have to work with?
Yeah, so top points per dollar defenses. We've got the Giants at $2,400. The Giants defense should be better. They have a really especially on the defensive line, they're really talented, and they've just gotten destroyed the last handful of weeks. It almost looked really good against the Broncos. They had them shut out through 3 quarters. But either way, we've got McCaffrey in this lineup already, so it's not going to be the Giants defense at $2,400. But some of the other cheap defenses, The Falcons at 2,500, the Texans at 2,900, the Broncos, not necessarily cheap at $3,200, but they project pretty well points per dollar. I don't mind that against the Texans' awful offensive line.
Neither do I, especially given the pressure that Denver can get. Yeah, let's plug that in. I also don't mind the Texans' defense either. I like both of them. So, it's nice to see that the tools suggest the same thing in the projections. So we have what, 6K remaining per player? That's not terrible.
Yep, and we've got 2 wide receivers and a flex left.
Do you want to complete this, or should we see how far we can take it?
Let's just press complete. I'm kind of looking at projections, seeing like Puka could come up in the lineup, Rashee Rice. We've got DK here. He is projecting as a really good value for this slate. So yeah, let's just put it on 10%.
I love Jamar Chase this week too. Again.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly been night and day for him as a fantasy asset with Flacco a quarterback as opposed to Jake Browning. So I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, so who do we have?
All right, let's show that. Rice, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Kittle. So it ended up being, we got a full game stack here. We ended up with McCaffrey, Tracy, Kittle, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
That feels terrible. But it does. But the Giants or the Niners defense is so banged up that it's actually not crazy. Run it. Let's see what we get. You're in. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
All right. Let's run this and see how it goes. I have no clue
Lord King Guru, the Bears signed CJ Gardner-Johnson. Yeah, I know. That makes no difference at all, honestly.
Time to rerun ownership.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. I saw that this morning. It doesn't matter.
Pretty good.
And I like CJ. I mean, this guy was instrumental in getting the Eagles to the Super Bowl 2 times in 3 years. But he's just, Houston let him go, and Bears bring him on. Gardner-Johnson's nice, like he's a ball hawk, but he's not going to shore up a secondary at all.
Got a good lineup here. 131.1% sim ROI.
I like that. Common Pennies mentions, and yeah, I think this is going to be, and Common Pennies, by the way, this is not, I'm certainly not disparaging this comment because I agree with you, but I do think the prevailing logic this week will be everybody just saw what that Bengals-Jets game looked like, 39-38, right? People are going to take note of that Thursday night game between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. They know that with Joe Flacco at the helm, this team can score points, but they also cannot keep opponents off the scoreboard. So I'm happy to build some stacks in that game. I have no problem with it. I would rather go to like Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, even Colston Loveland if Cole Kmet doesn't play. I have some trepidation right now with that backfield in Chicago because Kyle Monunga is getting additional work, essentially split snaps with DeAndre Swift. He did see less touches than him, Greg, but it feels like they want him to be kind of a fixture in the offense now. Obviously, I'm not saying the main guy, but it does feel like DeAndre Swift's 20-touch games might be in the rear view, and that scares me. But DJ Moore's $5,200. Jamar Chase is expensive, but I still like him. I want to get your thoughts, since you and I haven't talked about this slate yet, on both of the backfields here, because you have Swift and Monunga, but then you also have, guys, pull up, go do it for yourself. Pull up the splits between Chase Brown and Samaje Perine lately. Samaje Perine is getting legitimate work in the run game, and he's been effective with it as well. So, and yes, Kyle, I know Swift still has the PPR work, but you're also paying over $6K for him now. You're not getting him at a significant discount. So what are your thoughts on both of these backfields?
All right. So starting with the Bengals, I've got some of the snap counts pulled up right here. Perine just played, wasn't even his season high 42% of snaps, but by far the most effective that he's been. And you look at now the last handful of weeks. So the first 4 weeks of the season, it was all Chase Brown. You were seeing Chase Brown play like 70+% of snaps, and then you're seeing 20 to 30% of snaps from Pirine. And then to the point you had made before, over the last 4 weeks, we've seen it kind of close to a 50-50 split. We'll say like 55-45, something like that, just in terms of snaps, where Chase Brown last week played 54% of snaps. You got 42% of snaps out of Samaje Perine. I don't know exactly what to make of it. Brown's been playing as well as he has the entire season. He is also just $5,900. I'm certainly not going to play Perine at $4,400. The question just becomes, given what some of the snap data is, do we buy into the recent Chase Brown bounce back, or is it something where there's just not enough playing time for him for it to be really sustainable, which I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, and just wanting to play other running backs on the slate than Chase Brown at $5,900. As far as the situation for the Bears, I think it's pretty much the exact same, as to where I don't want to play Monangai at $4,600, even though he's seemingly seeing increased workload that we can count on, but it's not enough to want to play him in DFS, but it is enough to make DeAndre Swift look quite a bit worse. So the numbers, even just before where I said the workload is pretty close to like a 55-45 split between Chase Brown and Samaje Perine, the same can be said for Monangai and Swift. At the start of the year, Monangai week 1 only plays 13% of snaps. They've slowly worked him more and more into the offense. The last 3 weeks, 34%, 54%, 46% of snaps. DeAndre Swift, 56, 54, 49% of snaps, whereas earlier in the year, we started with an 81 to 13% split.
Yep. That concerns me on both sides. I mean, Chase Brown saw every running back rushing attempt in week 1. That's not the case right now. And their offense is performing well, so I'm not really sure why you'd go away from that. What I'd like to try here is Caleb double with a Dunze and more and run it back with Chase.
Okay.
Again, you and I always say this. You don't need to run it back all the time. The Millie winner this week, BS Golfer, by the way, who also, in case anyone was wondering, Stokastic sub, which, shout out to him.
Long time Stokastic sub.
Long time. I mean, he's a good player. I see him up there a lot. Long time Stokastic sub, taking down the Millie with the avatar. Shout out to BS Golfer. And, it's funny because he stacked Tua and Waddle and had 0 Atlanta run backs. Do you know how hard that is to get to? Like, that's just a great, great lineup. I say all of that to get at this point. You don't need to do that. You don't need to run guys back. But in this type of game where Cincinnati's defense is incapable of moving the football, but are stopping the opponent, but also Jamar Chase is targeted on over 50% of routes run since Flacco took over, with a 48.5% target share, it just seems to fit. So I know we're going to be short on salary if we do this. I still think this is a very worthwhile experiment, though, Greg.
Yeah, so we've got a 48.20 for our remaining salary. The next thing I want to do is just plug in the Giants defense, because that projects fine for us, and it's just super cheap. And I think we need all the salary savings we could get. So I'm just going to plug in the Giants defense, 2,400.
Fine with me. Fine with me. So what's that give us now?
5,400 for 2 running back spots, a tight end spot, and flex.
That's not too bad. All right. I mean, I think Tracy goes in there, especially given the correlation with the Giants D.
All right. So 55 left. So definitely need a cheap tight end. I guess all the tight ends are kind of cheap this weekend.
I know it's not a great. I don't love the tight end position this week. If you're not spending up to like Warren or Bowers or Kittle or who else is in there? Oh, Gadsden.
Yeah, even 5K for Powers. That's still fairly cheap, though.
I mean, I have no problem going to Brock Bowers. How does he project for us?
Let's see. Well, points per dollar, he is the second best points per dollar projected tight end, only behind Kittle.
Okay. By the way, we had a question from somebody in the chat about the simmed ROI on BS Golfers lineup. Well, I could tell you this much. I just pulled it up for you right now. And no surprise, because he's using these tools. I know he is, because the tools, believe it or not, while they had a lot of Atlanta, were also giving us a ton of Breece Hall and James Cook and getting us over the field there. So his simmed ROI was 937%. So just a great lineup. Great lineup. Sims out well in the post-contest simulator. Yeah, just a very good lineup. So shout out to BS Golfer. Again, you look at that and there's nothing bad about that lineup. It's just like the best type of leverage spot you could get.
Do you still have that pulled up on the other screen?
Yeah, I do. You want to see it?
Yeah, I'm curious. Just was that one of the highest sim ROI lineups in the entire?
I already looked. There were a bunch in like the 2000s and stuff. So
okay.
It's definitely up there, but it was not. It wasn't the top. That would have been crazy in the large field, Millie. So no, you see a lot of these, but it was. I mean, given how many entries there are, it was still very high, very very high simmed ROI. The highest simmed ROI lineup was Cousins, Bijan, Cook, Jamar Chase, Sutton, Mooney, Goddard. So it was an Atlanta 3. It just ended up being terrible.
Sick lineup.
What's that?
I just said sick lineup. People are always like, hey, because there are going to be times, you and I have talked about it, that negative sim ROI lineups show up at the top. That's just going to happen. The majority of lineups in tournaments are bad. That's why there's an edge. There's overwhelmingly more bad lineups than good lineups, but it is good to see. And you can recognize it too. As soon as it's all lineup, it's like, oh, that's a good lineup. That's a good lineup that somebody played.
Exactly.
So it makes sense to sim that well.
I assume this is supposed to say freaky deaky. Are you guys running any promotions for Odd Shopper, or are you guys only promoting tails? We just had an Odd Shopper promo going on for Portfolio EV. You still have a free week if you haven't signed up yet, though, Greg. I don't know if we have. I don't think we have any existing promos, but we just ran one for a week. It was 20% off Portfolio EV.
I didn't kill the promo code yet, so here, if you still want to sign up, 20% off with the promo code return. I'll wait. I'll wait a couple hours to turn it off. But yes, it's still live.
You're a good man. So take 20% off with code return, Portfolio EV. Getting a lot of bets. Actually, I have alerts on. I have notifications on. So in the event that you do see me staring down at my phone at points throughout the show, now you know why. But yeah, that would be it. I had a nice day yesterday. Portfolio EV. You're doing the bankroll challenge again. All those bets are up over on tails. So what 50? This is a sick lineup. The question now becomes, how do we get it different? Because I'm not, in outer space. I know that this will probably be a pretty popular build. I know a lot of people are down on DJ Moore right now. Understandable, but his price point's coming down enough, and this matchup's good enough to where I'm willing to take a shot on that paired with the Doomsday. I'm okay with that. What do you think? Fill this one out? Or I wonder if it's going to give us like a McCaffrey. And no, we can't. We can't get to McCaffrey unless we went with like a $2,700 tight end or $2,800 tight end. That's not going to work.
We also have the Giants defense in, so it won't give us McCaffrey.
Oh, right. Okay. Good call. You could go. You know who I like this week? I mentioned it to Ben yesterday. I like Travis Etienne. I actually like him a decent amount. I don't have confidence in this team, but also they've played from behind in each of the last 2 games by a ton. If this ends up being a neutral or even favorable game script, it's not going to hurt Bowers, but it will help Travis Etienne. So I think his price has come down enough now where you could look to him as a pretty decent option. And I think his price at $5,600 actually gives us a lot to work with on this slate.
Yeah, so if you have ETN plugged in, the next highest projected player we could get to is Jalen Warren. That would leave a few $100s in salary on the table. We could go to Ladd McConkey at $6K. If not, then you certainly leave a lot of salary on the table. But it looks like the best options are either Jalen Warren or Ladd McConkey of what's left.
Okay. No issues with Jalen Warren. It was very encouraging to see that Warren is getting, even after missing that London game as a late scratch where Kenny Gainwell had a big game, Warren is seeing the lion's share of opportunities again, particularly just being on the field. So wow, I wonder why it's only, what do you think the reason for that being only 43% is?
I wonder if we just took out the Giants defense, Warren and ETN, because we left a bunch of salary on the table. It wasn't, I don't think it was any of the players necessarily, as much as just the way we had it built, what fit into the last spot left a bunch of salary on the table.
Take Bowers out too and just see what it gives us with 10% randomness.
And I took the Giants defense out as well.
Okay, cool.
It gave us Broncos defense, Kittle, Gadsden, and still Warren.
Okay.
Yeah, so it flipped out ETN, Bowers, and the Giants defense for Kittle, Gadsden, and the Broncos defense.
Interesting. I would have thought it would be better the opposite way, but apparently not. Okay. What do you want to look at now? We've got two lineups, Bill. We had a Gino stack, we had a Raiders stack, we had a Chicago stack. We will get to a FanDuel build as well. If there's anything you guys want to see, let us know down in chat as well. And we will, if time permitting, we will see how this works. Jeremy, what does it sim out before? I assume you're talking about the Millie lineup. I don't know, but it would have simmed out well seeing the post lineup sim. There's just no doubt.
Yeah, there's no way to there's no way to look at the data before, unless you have a time machine. That would be sick. That would be sick. That would also be hilarious. Or hey, I want to invent a time machine so I could simulate DFS slates out, just see how they would have performed before the slate started. That would not be the most optimal use of a time machine.
Yeah, I don't think so. Jake, Herbert stack with Trey Harris role increasing. On an 11-game slate, Jake, first of all, I have no problem getting to Justin Herbert stacks, but I don't really know if the Trey Harris, if this is the time to jump on the Trey Harris. He did play 59% of snaps last week. That is encouraging, but you're still talking about a team that has Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, Kamani Vidal, Aranda Gadsden. I haven't even mentioned Quentin Johnston yet because they didn't. They just decided that he wasn't going to play, get targets. It's really tough. Keenan played a very small allotment of snaps last week. Trey Harris ended up playing quite a bit more, but at the same time, it's not like he was heavily. I don't know.
Well, the game was a blowout, so I don't know how much stock you put into the snap counts for that game because the starters weren't even in at the end of the game. So that kind of screws up
for sure. But Keenan played 25% of snaps, which is a little odd.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey played 58% of snaps. I mean, all of the data is kind of weird for that game.
Yeah, but Herbert played 100%.
Sure, except it was still they were getting, I think, some of the veterans out of the game in favor of the younger guys. So even if it wasn't necessarily Herbert coming out of the game for Trey Lance, who I'm pretty sure is their backup right now, it was instead you're seeing McConkey still played less snaps, Johnston played less snaps, Keenan Allen played less snaps. I mean, all their wide receivers played less snaps, and then instead it was guys like Tucker Fisk played more, Gadsden played the same as a rookie, Trey Harris played a little bit more as a rookie. So I do think that there was personnel change they made because of the score.
Yeah. I mean, look, Harris is going to probably get a couple targets here. It's just, it's difficult for me when you have so many other mouths to feed in this offense. Also, could it blow out? Of course it could. They're 9.5, 10-point favorites, but with 11 games, I think it's a little bit tougher to get to somebody like Trey Harris personally. I don't mind trying Charger stacks. I just don't really know where to start, Greg. That's the honest to God answer here. Because Vidal's going to probably get a lot of work again, even if Hassan Haskins is back. He's playing way too well to not get opportunities. Gadsden's playing way too well. McConkey is a fixture of the offense. Maybe Quentin Johnston reemerges onto the scene. Like Keenan Allen's still a guy that they're going to look to get the ball to. This is a tough team to stack right now. It's a tough team to target because of that.
Yeah, I actually don't like Charger stacks. You guys have heard me talk about what I like to do for stacks. I want to know that if the team I'm stacking goes off, I can reasonably know which players are going to go off within that stack. And that is the opposite of the Chargers for all the reasons that you just brought up right there. There's like 6 guys that could be scoring the touchdowns for the Chargers. It is such a difficult path to winning a GPP. You have to get so many things right. The Chargers actually have to be a top scoring team, and then you have to figure out which one of the couple of the 6 really talented skill position players is going to score the fantasy points. That's a pass for me right now.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to going to Vidal though. I think his workload. I was hammering the overs on rushing attempts for him last game, just with the idea that who the hell else are they going to go to? I don't know who it would be. Ends up getting 23 carries. No joke, Greg, if that game were competitive, like a back and forth, obviously he may not have seen quite as many opportunities because they were already up in that game, but he got pulled, and then you started seeing Jarrett Patterson get a significant amount of work. If that game's close, Kamani Vidal's workload, or even semi-close, is even larger than it was. So, I mean, with the amount of opportunities and goal line opportunities he's getting, even at 6,300 against Tennessee, and you may not have Jeffrey Simmons again for the Titans this week, which is a huge deal if he does not return in the middle of that defense. I think you're talking about another situation where Kamani Vidal looks really good again, even with the price increase.
Yeah, I don't know that he's somebody I'm going to be building my lineups around or anything like that, but I definitely think that he is somebody who's worth being in lineups.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be a core piece, but I don't know. You're still talking about a guy whose workload is. This is going to sound crazy, but he has one of the biggest workloads in the league right now, and I don't know if that changes in a game where, like, let's just say this game does stay close in Tennessee. Mike McCoy going up against his former team. Let's just say that like this game stays relatively competitive. That's not really a bad thing for Kamani Vidal. Tennessee has proven incapable of scoring points. Is this the day where they come out there and just start running it up? Seems unlikely. I don't know if Ridley's going to be back with that hamstring injury either. They don't have weapons. They don't have a good run game. And now Justin Herbert and really Vidal got Joe and Pipkins back. The offensive line is finally healthy. It just looks like a pretty good spot for him this week.
Game script couldn't be better, which, I mean, as you mentioned, the Titans defense, clearly not great. The entire Titans defense is bad. You've got a Chargers team that's favored by right around 10 points, so 2-score game. It does stand to reason that it makes sense they'd be running the ball out in the fourth quarter, and Vidal's been their guy, so I get it.
All right. So let's throw Jeff Williams' lineup in there because he super chatted us. Appreciate you, Jeff. And Vidal was in there. So let's plug that in. It's for those of you listening in podcast form. Caleb Williams, Vidal, McCaffrey, Adunze, Jamar Chase, Travis Hunter. Okay. I'm okay with that. 14 target game. Brian Thomas really has been one of the worst receivers in the league this year, believe it or not. It's true. He's been bad, man. Loveland. Ooh, okay. So this might be a problem, but I'm excited to try this. So he's going double tight end with Loveland and Juwan Johnson with Tyler Shuck as a quarterback. 14-point dog. They may have to throw a lot, but still. Texans defense. Yeah, let's try it out. See what happens. I think those low projections on Loveland and Johnson could be tough, but you've got pretty good project. Yeah, I think it's not gonna. The Travis Hunter projection doesn't look great either, Greg. But what do you think? I'm gonna say like -7.
I'll say -25. But I'm just guessing a random number.
Oh man, you were close.
I could smell it. I've built enough negative lineups on my Sunday morning show to know.
Jeff, I actually don't hate the concept. One thing I'll say that I do like, if Cole Kmet is out, I really don't hate the Caleb Odunze Loveland stacks at all. I think the issue you're running into here, though, is you're spreading yourself a little too thin where you've got to go down to like Jawan Johnson down there. Yeah, Greg, good idea. Let's see what that gives us. So Tracy in there. Yeah.
They gave us the Kias for a triple stack.
Ooh. See how that comes out. It's actually not a crazy idea.
Yeah, I mean, Loveland's only $3,300. Zacchaeus is $3,300. Zacchaeus sucks, except the Bears seem to insist on giving him volume. So at $3,300, he's definitely viable. Turned it around.
Yeah, and you know what else made the big difference there? The increase in projection from Travis Hunter to Tyrone Tracy. That made a big difference. Sam, Loughy, are we jamming Browning if Flacco sits? I don't know, man. I may count my coins on those Browning stacks from a few weeks ago. I don't know if I want to go back to that. It's not crazy. It's not.
Would it impact how you view Jamar Chase if Browning is the quarterback?
Yeah. I went through this spiel with Ben yesterday on the First Look show, and Joe Flacco, I mentioned it on the First Look or my First Look betting show as well for the early picks over on the Odd Shopper channel. Joe Flacco is just a highly, highly intelligent quarterback. Like from a skill set perspective, and age, it's not like he's not great, but he's just the guy's smart and he knows where to put the football and he knows who to get the ball to. There's nothing spectacular about the way Joe Flacco plays, right? He's not like this physical specimen. He's just super smart in his as an aging quarterback. And I think that goes a really long way for you. Whereas Jake Browning, he was panicking under pressure. There were so many things where you watched him in comparison to Flacco and you go, they got all the same weapons. I'm not even sure the talent gap is all that difference this far into Flacco's career. But Joe Flacco, to me, I just have a little bit more confidence that he can get Jamar Chase the ball in the right spots. Maybe you disagree.
Was that timing coincident? I don't know if you saw it, just got an alert, but it seems like Flacco isn't going to play this weekend, per the report that just came out from Ian Rappaport. Was that question a coincidence, or did you know that information? Like, did you see Rappaport say something on TV before you put that out? If not, that's a crazy coincidence in terms of timing.
That would be very strange.
Inside info?
Yeah. This guy was jamming Flacco unders all week. Not that they'd be out, not that it would matter, it should have been Browning overs, but it makes no difference one way or the other. Exactly. Common pennies. Right. You have a very quick release that's what I'm saying, though. He understands the assignment, whereas some of these other guys don't. Like Browning will just take 7 sacks. It's just, I agree. I think no Flacco makes Chase less enticing at his price point. The only question then becomes, though, Jake or Greg, if Chase's ownership becomes extremly low, then what do you do with it? Because if you're telling me that Chase at his price point becomes very, very, under-owned, Browning is $4,000. Like I would actually consider some Browning stacks with Chase because he's the minimum salary. And this Chicago Bears defense is far from a juggernaut. So I don't actually think it's crazy. But, yeah, of course I like Flacco better.
Want to try a FanDuel lineup?
Let's do a FanDuel lineup, yeah. And, of course, as you navigate over there, I mentioned, you had the Millie winner from longtime Stokastic sub BS golfer. Some awesome lower stakes stuff, too, like 6K from X Jordan. This one, another one in the pick and roll and the floater. Some of these guys have just been absolutely killing with the low stakes stuff. And I can tell you right now that many of these guys did it through signing up with our sportsbook partners and just getting the free month of the Sims that way. Look at Pedro, right? Watching Loughy and crew for a while, play low stakes for fun. Got a month of free Sims with the sleeper sign up And 2 weeks later, this happened, right? That's a massive ROI. He played $1. He had 4 entries in the quarter jukebox, turned it into 300. The other one was Ralph. Crazy. Got Sims Core for free after signing up for BetMGM. Submitted the first 4 and boom. There you go. $400. Would have never built this lineup myself. I say all of this because if you guys aren't taking advantage of these promo opportunities that we have over at Stokastic, go ahead and do it, man, because you're getting the Sims for free. The link's in the description. You just sign up with any of those partners, click claim offer. You have to do that or we can't track you. You have all of these, right? If you're in non-legal states, people always ask me, yeah, but Loughy, what can I do in Florida? Well, Onyx is available in 40 plus states. It's a social book. It's a sweepstakes book. And you spend 10, you get 100 in bonus picks. You have Better, you have Sleeper, you have Underdog, DraftKings Pick 6, all of these spots, right? With great deposit offers as well. Don't just think you're sinking your money, your $5 or $10 minimum deposit into something, because you're not. You're getting bonus picks. You're getting match deposits. A lot of these books are like FanDuel, for people that aren't on there, bet 5, get 300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So click claim offer, sign up, make a deposit, $5 or $10 minimum, and place a bet. The moment that bet, or whenever you want to do it, settles, send us screenshots, us at support at stokastic.com, not the books. They don't care. With your welcome email, screenshot of that, and your first settled bet, and just tell us what you want. That is all there is to it. So if you signed up for Onyx, Fanatics, and Better, you're spending a max of like, I don't know, $25, $30 or less. If some of these are $5, that's 3 months of the Sims. You could free roll NFL core Sims through Christmas, and you could grab a month of NBA core Sims as well for doing nothing and getting your bonuses, and you might win those bets and build a bankroll up over there. So as we say every time, man, no better way to do it. Link in the description. If you're in mobile, just tap that. It'll expand the description. You know how to do it if you're on a desktop or whatever else. But check that out. Best way to do it. Come join the team. Jump in the Discord. And if you ever have questions and you need tutorials, just ask me or Greg, and we will happily help you out with all of that.
Yeah, I've got pretty much everything tutorials up on the YouTube channel. I know it's kind of hard to find older content on YouTube, but I remember where all of it is. So if you guys have any questions at all, just hit me up and ask, hey, how do I use this tool? How do I use this tool? And I'll shoot you over a video.
Definitely. All right. I'm getting this bet in. How do you want to start this off?
Yeah, so over on FanDuel, one thing that we did not build yet on DraftKings that does project pretty well for us that I think we should take a look at is Pat Mahomes stacks. We got that great Chiefs-Bills game. This is one of the best regular season games on the schedule the entire year. If I'm not mistaken, I think that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are not only 1-2 in the MVP odds, but Bills-Chiefs are also 1-2 in the Super Bowl odds. So very much looking forward to this game. And it also makes some sense from a DFS standpoint, considering how well Patrick Mahomes has played, although primetime game, he ended up putting together some fantasy points. Definitely a slow start to that game for Patrick Mahomes. But now that he's got Rashee Rice back, it seems to have totally transformed the Chiefs offense.
Yeah. Man, even before Rice came back, you started to see the pieces coming together. They should also have Smith and Simmons back on the offensive line, which makes them even more appealing. I mean, the things keep getting better for the Chiefs. Do you want to run this back is the question. I mean, this is a Chiefs-Bills game. I don't really think you have to, though.
It's not that I don't think the Bills are going to put up points. It's just the same talking point as with the Chargers before. Outside of Josh Allen, from who? Like, is it going to be a game where James Cook has a lot of success running the football? It's a tough matchup. Maybe, maybe not. But then on the other part of it, too, it's like, all right, Josh Allen has a lot of success throwing the football. Who the hell is it going to be? Is it going to be Kincaid? Is it going to be Shakir? Is it going to be Coleman? He's got so many guys. He spreads the ball out so much that it's really hard to identify one pass catcher.
It's something I really don't think I want to figure out, for being honest. I on an 11 gamer, I don't know if I want to do it. And it's a tough spot for James Cook. It's pretty deep running back position again. I think we go Mahomes with Rice and one more pass catcher, though.
Okay. Who else do you like?
Ben's a big fan of Xavier Worthy, as a pivot this week. Can you just isolate the Kansas City game up in top on the top bar?
Yep. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
I mean, Kelsey looks great again.
5,800 on FanDuel.
That seems cheap for a tight end.
It is.
Let's try Kelsey.
All right. Yeah, I don't mind this. Mahomes, Rice, Kelsey. I guess I'll just plug in. Yeah, Giants defense only 3,300. That's almost min price on FanDuel. So just plug them in to give us the extra salary savings, make the lineup a little bit more fun. That still gives us $6,800 left for the rest of the spots.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. It is funny to think how much better this Chiefs team is than last year when they went to the Super Bowl. Like, I think they're, no joke, they're at least like 70% better than they were last year, which is an insane thought. They're really, really good, man.
Remember, I can't remember. Did they start like 11-0 or 12-0 or something last year? And their point differential was like 9th in the league at the time. It was every single game during the regular season last year. It would be like, oh my God, the Chiefs are up by 1 with 5 seconds left. The opposing team has the ball on the Chiefs' 30-yard line, and they just got a short field goal to win. Then it'd be like, but a black hole opened up underneath the special team. They fell into it, and the Chiefs win by 1. Like, there'd just be the most bizarre, like, oh look, the Chiefs are about to lose a game. Oh no, a piano fell on Josh Allen. The Chiefs win by 1. Every single week, something insane.
It's true though. I mean, they blocked the kick against the Broncos. The Broncos should have beat them. Antonio Pierce decided to run a play out of shotgun where all they needed to do was kneel the ball to kick a field goal, fumbled the snap, Chiefs recovered it. Carolina Panthers as 12-point dogs came down to the final drive, almost beat them. And those are just the ones off the top of my head. There were so many games that Isaiah Likely's, that a quarter inch of his heel was out of bounds in week 1. That was another one. I just left and right, these games were ridiculous. Oh, and then there was the other one with the pass interference against, who was it? There was another one with pass interference that put them in field goal range, and they ended up winning that game as well. The list went on and on and on last year. So they just look way better. I don't want to run it back. I'm with you. Who's the best value?
All right, let's see. If we just go to the flex and go to overall values, Tracy at $6K, Jalen Warren at $6,500, Ramondre Stevenson at $5,800. I know we saw a little bit more work to Trevion Henderson. Just based on how the Patriots games have gone this year, I don't buy it for a second. I think the way that we've seen Trevion Henderson and the Patriots go this week, Henderson's in line for like his lowest workload of the season next week.
And it was a blowout too. That game wasn't really competitive. Cleveland at no point was capable of really moving the ball outside of that first drive early on the touchdown to Harold Fannin Jr. There wasn't much going on there. So, no, I'm not. I'm with you. Tracy, as you mentioned, it's a good price point. He really should see a lot of work. And it doesn't appear that Brian Dable wants to use Devin Singletary in a big capacity. So that works for me. Let's see what the Sims give us here.
All right, completing out the lineup, we end up getting to, all right, Mahomes, Tracy Warren, Chase, Rashdi Rice, Diggs, Travis Kelce. Hey, Ramondre Stevenson in the Giants defense.
Can't say I'm thrilled about this build.
I don't mind it.
I don't love Stevenson.
I don't love Stevenson with Diggs, but it
did for sure. If you took Stevenson out though, can we just see what other options we'd have in that range? Because it is the flex position. So at flex, it gives us really an opportunity to at least see where the value is.
There's a pretty big projection gap. Stevenson project for 1.5 more fantasy points than Jacoby Myers, who's the next possible option.
Wow. Is Stevenson 5,800? How?
Yeah, he's 5,800.
Oh, that's why. I thought that said 68. Now it makes a
No,
lot of sense.
Yeah, he's 58 and Diggs is only 62. So they're both very cheap on FanDuel.
Now it makes a lot more sense. Okay. We should try to run one more lineup before we get out of here. We still have a couple minutes. By the way, if you guys are enjoying Tails and the Tails app, first of all, let me know in the comments and let me know in chat. And if you ever have recommendations, we are all ears. You know, we're building this platform for you, for the better, for someone who wants to enjoy this as much as we do. I mean, Greg and I bet every single day. You know, we love this stuff. It's not just a job, you know, but we're looking to make money betting. We want to make, it sounds stupid, but like we want to make other people money, but also, you know, make you happy, take you away from life once in a while, right? Like that's what this is all about. So if you've been enjoying the Tails app, which I hope you have, these picks are always free. The bets are free. The information's free. And, you know, that's certainly not changing. You have some great experts with VIP packages like Mitch and DK and, you know, and Ben and Eric and these guys. So highly recommend you check those out as well. But all of the free picks that I posted, Ben, that Greg posts, that all of us, and, you know, some really good, I think there's some incredibly sharp information and bets over on Tails. If this is something you like and you enjoy the free content, we'll never ask for anything in return outside of, if you have a couple minutes, go into the app store and review the app for us. You know, leave a quick review, take a couple minutes of your day to rate it, preferably 5 stars, and leave a review. That's better than, you know, anything else you could do. So if you are enjoying it, that's all I ask, and it's appreciated. It really, really helps. I can't stress it enough. So appreciate you guys in advance. I know a lot of you already have, and a lot of you will. So yeah, I'll say thank you beforehand because those reviews go a long way.
All right. I went back over to DraftKings. Who haven't we stacked yet? So we've done Mahomes stacks. We've done Gino Smith. We've done Caleb Williams. What else do you like for this weekend? What haven't we built around yet?
Yeah, let's do it. And by the way, Common Pennies said, I really like Onyx. Never would have gotten it without the Sims for the free month. But now I'm on it a lot more regularly. Left you all a written review too. Thank you, brother. We love you. Yes, I bet on Onyx a lot too. A lot. And I could only get $5 down on that DraftKings manual teaser I made. I can get 100 down on Onyx. So yeah, it's a great spot, and it's available in so many states. It's a sweepstakes books, friends. Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere but where I live. Unless you live in New Jersey, you probably have it.
But you also have access to like every book, although you've probably burned through a lot of those accounts for sure, which happens over time. We could try, you know what's interesting? I think we should try Drake Maye.
Sure, we could do that. We could go to a Drake Maye lineup. Drake Maye third in the, and I think very rightfully so. I actually think I believe in what Drake Maye is doing so far this year. I think he's going to finish. I think he's going to finish the season top 5 in MVP. I don't know if it's going to be third or second or whatever. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he'll be top 5.
No, Drake Maye is for sure the real deal. There's just no doubt about it. A couple of people asked for Daniel Jones. If you know, I'm okay with that. No problems. Use the Sims yourselves, guys. Like I said, just grab them for free to play around with it. You'll have the entire month or more to yourselves. But the only thing with Daniel Jones, in an odd way, that's kind of like the Chargers stack, Greg. And I know it's not apples to apples, but you still have Pittman, you have Josh Downs, you have Tyler Warren, and then clearly the elephant in the room in Jonathan Taylor. Like it's not as cut and dry a stack as you'd think there. And if you're going with the Daniel Jones stack, you're fading Jonathan Taylor in that. Well, not necessarily, but probably, which I don't actually think is a crazy idea. I kind of like that idea. It's just, do you go Warren Pittman? Do you go Downs Pittman? Do you go Downs Warren? Do you go Pittman Downs? All of that's doable. It is actually kind of an interesting build when I think of it, given that Jonathan Taylor's almost 10K now.
Here's another build that we got a super chat, and Jackson Dart is projected for 10% ownership. He is way too cheap considering what he's shown his fantasy upside to be. I think we could close it out by building Chris's lineup here.
Sure, try it.
All right, so we've got Jackson Dart at quarterback. The running backs are McCaffrey and Tyrone Tracy. All right, so we got a game stack here. And I do think Tracy's going to be involved in the passing game as well. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he played a good amount of wide receiver in high school and college, and he's definitely a capable pass catcher. So Tyrone Tracy, let me look at some of his targets this year. We saw, in the games he's played in, 5 targets, 3 targets, 3 targets. And of course, one of the games where he had 3 targets, he left early with the shoulder injury. So it looks like we could reliably get 3 to 5 targets from him, maybe even more with Scatabo out now. So I don't mind him as a stacking option with Dart for that reason. Then you got Nakua at wide receiver with DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice. And then he went with Theo Johnson at tight end. Not my favorite stacking partner with Dart, but not the end of the world either. I do not like Josh Naylor this week. I think that's going to be one thing that holds back the lineup.
With JJ McCarthy.
I wouldn't like Naylor no matter who the quarterback was there, but definitely not with.
I'm with you. I just think it's even tougher. Even tougher when you get that type of spot in.
All right, so we're on the sim. I thought we were doing really well until the last couple of spots there.
Yeah, you were enthusiastic. That dropped off pretty quickly.
18.5%. Let's see if we were just to save some salary. Let's just take out Nakua. And I'm just going to put in Wan'Dale Robinson instead. And then we'll take out Johnson, Naylor, and the Raiders defense.
By the way, behind the scenes here, Greg, I'm running a Drake Maye lineup in the single lineup sim that I'll pull up for everybody once this one is complete.
This looks better to me. Kittle, Bowers, Texans defense. All right, let's run this and see. I think it'll have a marginally better sim ROI.
We should. That's actually a nice look. Yeah, I was going to say that's a really nice looking lineup. I like that. 118.7 for those of you podcast listeners out there. Greg, here's one that I built with Drake Maye behind the scenes for anybody curious. And it was Maye, McCaffrey, Jalen Warren, Rashee Rice, Stephon Diggs, DK, Hunter Henry. So it is a double. Tyrone Tracy and Texans D. That got us to 99%. I want to do one more thing before we go. And we'll do this very quickly. Let's just try a Daniel Jones stack without Jonathan Taylor and see if it's any decent. My guess is, I don't know. What do you think? Do you want to go Pittman, Downs, or Warren? Give me the 2-man combination that you want to see. I think Pittman has to be one of them. He's just getting a ton of opportunity.
Yeah, I'll say Pittman and Downs.
Okay. These guys aren't projecting that well right now, and I do think a lot of that is just because Jonathan Taylor has been an animal. Do you want to – I think it's naturally going to run back Warren here.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, let's try it. I think it naturally runs back. Not Tyler Warren, Jalen Warren.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, yes, probably. I was confused. I was like, I don't know. They're just going to throw Tyler Warren in there.
It didn't, though.
Okay.
Actually, a sick build. I don't hate this at all. Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron, Wan'Dale, Pittman, Josh Downs, George Kittle, Brock Bowers, Texans D. I don't know if it's going to sim out well. I'm going to say like 48%. But I think there's something there for sure.
going to say 27%.
Ah, you were closer again. Man, you're over the target today, brother. You got that inside information.
Yeah. The overall benefits of me coming closer while guessing this game, absolutely 0%. There's no benefits at all. I have no monetary benefit. Nobody gives a shit watching at home, so there's no internet points to be had. I just look like a tremendous dork.
Common pennies, why not just Pittman skinny? You could definitely go Pittman skinny stack there. No issues with that at all. Jeremy, Wandale's going to have a game. Wandale's a decent price point. It's a decent spot. They're going to need to look his way. He could get there on PPR points alone. He could finish with like 9 for 40, and you might still be all right. Swoop, I like Loughlin if Komet is out as well. So, yeah, anything else, Greg, before we get out of here? Fun show. We built more lineups today than I think we have in any previous single lineup sim show. I think we're headed in the right direction, but still a lot of injury news we got to watch out for throughout the week, for sure. There's a lot of pending news.
Yeah, if you guys haven't done yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then also, don't forget, Loughy's mentioned it a couple of times, but follow us over on Tails. It's totally free. I've got my bankroll thread going on there. Loughy's posting a ton of really cool, profitable football bets using parlay boosts and things along those lines. So Loughy, Ben, myself, Eric, Gajewski, there's so many of us to follow over at Tails. You'd be foolish to not do it. It's free. Take advantage of it.
That's right. Love you all. We'll see you back here. Tonight, you've got Deeper Dive Live Before Lock for NBA. Tomorrow, we've got Showdown Strategy, Showdown Live Before Lock, all of the regular strategy shows. Josh does the strategy show for NBA every morning. I've seen amazing reviews coming in on that from people in the Stokastic Hall of Fame, shouting out your boy Josh for the strategy show. And then Friday, Greg and I will be back here. Sims show, one of my favorites of the week. We finally have good information based on injury reports, practice reports. And then Sunday, of course, it all culminates in the 4-hour live stream heading up to lock at 1 p.m. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.